Welcome back to another episode of the podcast with Mark45. Today we have yet another movie review, and we're going to be talking about the DCEU's final film before James Gunn takes over and starts his new DC universe. And this is the sequel to, I think, DC's only ever successful film, or like $1 billion film, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And obviously we have some of the Funko Pops on there. Obviously I didn't get everything, especially Mira. You guys know why. I don't need to explain. Without further ado, let's talk about some non-spoiler stuff, and then we have some of the spoilers, and then we'll get into the Funko Pops. Let's get started with the non-spoilers.
First of all, this movie is very controversial for Mira, aka Amber Heard.
I feel bad for Jason Momoa though. Like, he's a great guy, and he clearly put his all in this film. But just because of another character, another actor, has hurt the reputation of this movie. Amber's screen time is, I think, a total of 20 minutes. And she says a total of 11 lines. So they really cut down on her part. They minimize it a lot. But I guess to some people, 20 minutes is still way too much. But I think for me personally, I tend to separate the character from the actor. In the moment watching the movie, I just think of what they're doing in the movie as that character, not what their outside life is like. So it's sometimes good to separate, character and actor. But obviously, when you look at the character, unless they have like a CGI complete appearance, it's hard to not like associate it back to, oh yeah, right, she was in this whole trial thing, and she was doing a bunch of bad stuff. So it's like, I understand from both points of view. That's what I'm saying. But I just don't want to think about that kind of stuff when I'm watching a movie.
Septus, what do you think?
I agree.
Oh my god.
The movie was okay. There was one scene in particular that I thought it was kind of forced, but
well, we can talk about that in spoilers, I guess.
It's just very predictable. Everything that happens is super predictable. You're like, this happens, oh, this is setting up, oh, and then I just kind of ended up knowing what's gonna happen because the plot just set up that way. Like, I know this character is going to do this. This character is going to become good or become evil. It's just too predictable. Maybe it's, I don't know, we've been watching too many superhero films. They all follow the same formula.
You've seen the first movie, so let's do a comparison between this and the first movie.
Don't remember the first movie, but think it was better.
That first movie made $1 billion. It was very successful.
Also, there was no controversy.
There was no large-scale battle in this movie. In the first movie, there's a huge Lord of the Rings Endgame style army to army battle.
There was a little bit, but it was mostly a bunch of grunts. Just like a bunch of weaklings versus like 5 very strong people or something like that.
For this one, yeah. For this movie, yeah.
And
there was a few normal Atlantean soldiers, but it was mostly made of like main characters.
It's kind of disappointing. Yeah. And then in the end, I can't specify because spoilers, but there was looking like there was going to be a big final battle, but then it got cut short.
The test screening for this movie had people walking out of the theaters when they were testing out this movie with a test audience.
Did they pay for it, or they just?
It's a test screen, so obviously the movie, there's a lot of scenes not there yet. There's unfinished stuff too. It was basically they were showing a rough draft of the movie.
I don't know what the rough draft screening looks like. If they looked very different or like only a little different.
Apparently, box office wise, this has beaten the Marvels in terms of the poorest superhero movie that was this year. This has beaten the Marvels.
So it's lower.
No, this is higher than the Marvels.
Okay.
The Marvels had it worse.
That's surprising, honestly. Marvels is better.
You think? Okay.
I think Marvels is better.
But
he's gonna disagree.
No, I disagree.
Really?
Marvels is slightly better. I think it's better.
I don't really like the Marvel.
But it's still both of them are still higher than the Flash. Flash is an all-time low big bomb.
It's not bad, but I think compared to the other two flop superhero movies, which is Marvels and Flash, I think this ranks like slightly below them. The actors are fine. Just I don't like the plot. It's too cliche and predictable.
Out of 10.
6.
5.5.
I'd say I give this a 6 out of 10 as well. Do you think this is a solid hurrah final movie to the DCEU?
This is not a good ending movie. This is a transition. It's like, yeah, you put this as the second movie and then you have a big finisher for Aquaman, but I guess they're not doing that.
That remains to be seen. So that is the non-spoiler section. Let's move on to spoilers now after this commercial break. One of my favorite things about this movie is definitely Randall Park. You may know him as Jimmy Woo from Ant-Man and the Wasp or WandaVision. Like he had more screen time than Amber Heard, which is quite funny.
He's kind of this important character, but does his name ever get mentioned in the movie?
This is kind of spoilers, but like he does these recording.
When I was watching the movie, it was just Jimmy Woo. That was literally my
Jimmy
name.
Woo,
That's
yeah.
what name is his head, because I don't know. It's like the doctor. I was like, I don't know what his name is. So his plotline's basically bad guy turned good. So he's unknowingly bad turned into willingly good. If that makes sense. He just wants to see Atlantis with his own eyes because he's a scientist. He wants to, make stuff, see old technology, I guess. But basically, he starts working for him. He wants to leave at like halfway through the movie. And then after you see him want to leave, you can just predict that he's just going to turn good. It's super predictable from that point on.
He tries to talk to Orman and Arthur at one point.
And also, he gets hit with an explosion, almost dies from the snake monster, almost dies from freezing in the cold.
And Black Manta electrocuted him when he tried to escape with the baby.
And he got electrocuted. And he's still alive and not that injured. I don't know. This guy
He has plot armor. He has plot armor. The plot armor is strong with this one. I was kind of expecting this movie, like they kept her in. All right, sure. It'll be just kind of awkward having her killed off screen. I thought they were gonna kill her off in this movie. They're gonna show us how she died. And there was one scene where it looked like that was the case. When Black Manta and his crew decided to raid the Orichalcum Vault.
Orichalcum Vault, but it's near
Atlantis. It's near Atlantis. So it alerted the Atlantean army thanks to the Septopus. Mira and Queen Atlantia. They pursued them with a patrol of mechanical sharks. I think she was able to catch up to him. She was fully locked in trying to stop Black Manta, and she does all her like water power things, trying to like slow him down. She actually gets to Black Manta's sub. She proceeds to break the window open to like get him. He puts on his helmet and just fries her with the beam. At that point, I was like, well, that's how they're gonna kill her off. And then they later showed her in a medic room, a hospital room. I don't know what they call it in Atlantis. She was recovering. Or it looked like she was on her deathbed. There's another fight between Aquaman and Black Manta. Aquaman gets stuck. Guess who's back? Mira comes back and saves him, and she's completely fine now. So, yeah, I thought at that point, that chase scene, Black Manta killed her.
My guess is they already filmed everything, right? And then she shows up in the final fight scene where they're trying to save. Now the final fight is basically
Rescuing
the baby, and then also Black Manta is being possessed by the King of Necros, which I forgot the name of. Basically, some guy who's supposed to be the Seventh Kingdom, which is the name of the movie, The Lost Kingdom, which is the Seventh Kingdom of Necros, Necros.
Yeah, I think that's
Necros. Yeah, and so they're trying to free him because he found the trident, which is basically possessing him. He's getting possessed by a trident. So if you want to be really technical, the true villain is the King of Necros, which has a name, but I forgot. They're trying to they need the baby to unseal Necros. So
because he's part of the royal bloodline from King Atlantis himself.
And she was also in the final fight scene. That's my guess why they didn't kill her off, because she's already in those scenes. They don't want to reshoot it.
This really feels like a mixture of Black Panther and Iron Man. At the end of the scene, I'm gonna skip to the end because I actually kind of want to talk about it. Arthur decides it is time to reveal Atlantis to the world. And that's exactly what happens at the end of Black Panther, where they're like, let's reveal Wakanda to the world.
Yeah, I wonder where they got that idea from.
He goes to the UN General Assembly, and the world is obviously craving about this news that, oh my god, Atlantis is real, blah blah blah. And they go to the General Assembly in New York. I'm surprised they didn't go into the actual UN building. They just did it at some park outside.
It was out of their budget.
He goes on to give this speech like, my name is I'm the king of Atlantis, blah blah blah. I'm surprised they brought the Brine King, the crab guy, as one of the representatives.
If I saw a big crab with his claw cut off, that kind of freak you out. Right? The speech part was questionable, but I get the idea.
Like revealing your secret nation to the world, like that has been done before, as we saw from Black Panther.
So yeah, like I said earlier in the non-spoiler part, plot of the movie is super predictable. So that is one of them.
The Brine King in this movie was like when Arthur's like, keep your eyes open. There's people here like, well, that's easy. Mine don't close. He's there to make you laugh. I think also for Orm himself, I think he was written pretty well. He had his whole redemption arc going on throughout the whole movie, and at the end, he was basically given freedom, provided he just had to lay low. And there was a shot at the end where he's at like some like restaurant at New York. Was it New York?
I don't know, but he was eating a burger.
He was eating a burger, and then it led to a reoccurring gig again with the post-credit scene. There was only one post-credit scene in this movie, and the very last scene of the DCEU was a shot of Orm putting a cockroach into a hamburger and taking a bite out of it. And that's how the universe ends.
Also, Black Manta's helmet looks kind of weird.
It's a lot smaller. He had a much bigger helmet in the first movie.
Yeah. It's kind of like Mysterio with the fishbowl helmet. Well, they showed his dad getting killed by Aquaman.
There's a little.
It's reused footage from the first movie.
Yeah. There is some. You can see there's the motive. It's just that it's taken over by the Trident. The Trident's basically taking him over. So
yeah, by the Necro King or whatever he's called. Yeah. One scene I didn't like: the actual final confrontation between Aquaman and the Necro King. He's like, "I'm alive. I have waited centuries for this moment." 5 minutes later, Trident stabs him in the face and he's dead. And I think Orm throws, no, it was Aquaman. He throws the black trident at him. He catches it. All right, cool. He made the weapon after all, so it makes sense. He knows how to control it. But then he takes his own trident right after, yeets it, and precisely cuts right through the black trident, that thin piece of black trident, straight through him and kills the king. Not even a fight. There was no fight.
He just caught the black trident for some reason, and then he died.
Exactly. That I didn't like that scene at all. He goes on his whole speech like, I've waited centuries for this moment. Dead.
Yeah, if the king of Necros is just gonna die like that, then was he really a king?
Exactly.
You know, it's just Aquaman just chants something in gibberish and throws a trident.
He had the loyalty and the Riptide enchantment on on the trident.
Impaling 5.
Yeah, so it just breaks through the black trident. But there is a proper trident 1v1 fight between him and Black Manta. That was pretty good choreography. I said the stakes weren't as high because like in the first movie the stakes were Orm wants to unite all of Atlantis, become Ocean Master. This one, there wasn't really a clear sense of direction. We're more like they just want to free the Necro King. I say it's flashback heavy because they use a lot of old footage from the first movie, and when they want to tell you that it's a flashback, they let you know very explicitly it's a flashback by playing the full clip of the reused footage. I feel like there's a lot of hit or misses for this movie. There's a lot of misses, but there was a lot of points where it actually hit pretty well.
I wouldn't watch this again.
Right, it is time to talk about Funko Pops. I don't have Dr. Shin, although I would like to get him if I see him. Obviously, I don't have Mira. Do I really need to explain why I don't have her? Where is my boy Tamura Morrison? Why didn't they do a pop for him? They could have, replaced Mira for Tamura Morrison. Why don't we start off with the one that I have out of box? This is Aquaman on Storm.
Trident's neat. Its waves are alright, although there wouldn't be waves because he's in the water. This is a boat of Storm. It's not actually the seahorse.
Speaking of normal pop, here is Storm just by himself. Compare this to this one.
Well, of course, this one's better.
Look how tiny Storm is. Very tiny in here. Storm's like kind of tiny, and then he's like significantly bigger here.
Let's do the antagonist. Let's do Black Manta.
I don't know, just a generic pose.
Is his head wider than other Funkos? I think so.
Well, Funkos have big heads in general.
Yeah, but his is wider, right? It's like a sharp. He has very red eyes.
Queen Atlantia. Brandon, why don't you show this one? She didn't really do much in this movie, did she?
She is moral support.
Yeah, she's really just moral support.
Moral support
and lore provider, because a lot of stuff Aquaman didn't even know about, and she was the one to explain it to him.
Nice crown, although the ears look kind of funny. Although
I don't
think there's ears. Those are just that's just
hair.
hair.
Yeah, just hair. They're trying to make it look like she's underwater. The hair fun.
She looks like an elf. The hair makes it look like elf ears.
Fair enough. Orm is up next.
Does he wear this suit in the movie? I don't remember.
I don't think
in the final battle, the final fight.
Purple suit. It's a purple suit.
The final fight, yeah.
Doesn't it look like Hulkbuster a little?
Kind of.
It looks a little bit like the Hulkbuster because it's purple.
This is the original Orm from the first movie. I bought this out of box. As you can see, the trident is completely bent up.
We can't see his expression in the helmet.
Well, the top one looks angrier. Like, the eyebrows make him look angry, doesn't it?
The top one looks better, though. Besides the bent trident.
Yeah, why is the trident like...
I guess the previous owner just did not take good care of this pop.
I think the trident's supposed to be like that.
Bent?
Like, I don't think they bent it. They were cracked, right?
They use a heat gun and bent it.
I don't think they would ever do that. Why would you put in the effort to make it look worse?
I don't know.
I think it's just their design. His trident's literally a pool noodle. Minus the trident, I would prefer the new one, but overall this one's nicer.
Let's talk about Jason Momoa himself. As you can see, I have two exclusives. One of them is a diamond glitter pop exclusive to Amazon. So this is the common. It's the same pose as the common one. This one is a Target exclusive, but I got it from GameStop. So, looking at the two pops, what do you guys think? They're kind of different in their own way.
The Funko exclusive looks better because there's like a unique base that he's standing on.
Like the water? Yeah. The other one doesn't have a base. It's just glittery.
So you think the Target one's better than the Amazon one?
Whatever, the one without the glitter.
So this one where he's creating a tsunami.
Yeah.
All the pops from this lineup, excluding the old Orm, which one is your favorite?
I'll say this one.
I look forward to see what James Gunn has in store with the reboots. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching to this episode of Podcast with Mark 45. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more. And make sure to turn on the bell if you don't want to miss any episode the second it comes out. And be sure to give us a follow on Spotify. And let us know in the comment what you think of this movie. Catch us on future episodes coming very soon. We have a lot cooking up for you guys, including our first guest episode that we're going to be filming next week. As for now, that's it for this episode, and we'll see you in the next one.